apologise if he picks up any bad language during the silence. There were a few voices, but on the whole, a capacity crowd of nearly 62,000 inside this Tottenham Hotspur Stadium did observe the minute's silence. And as for Lanya Matthews, I remember her singing here when the stadium opened in April 2019. A Tottenham-born artist who I'm sure felt that as a proud moment in such sad circumstances. And now the floral wreaths have been collected by Emile Heskey and Ledley King, and they make their way off to the side of the pitch. Antonio Conte has paid his own respects. He has been to Buckingham Palace, and indeed Harry Kane was explaining in the match programme today that his wife Kate took their kids to Buckingham Palace to pay their own respects and to lay flowers. We can concentrate on the football now here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Leicester City are in all royal blue, Tottenham in their white shirts and navy shorts, and Tottenham Hotspur, two remaining unbeaten sides in the Premier League, along with Manchester City, who they are hoping to try and join them on 17 points after Manchester City's comfortable victory by 3-0 earlier today. Newcastle 1, Bournemouth 1 is how it finished at St James's Park, and Match the Day tonight on at a later time at 10 to 11 on BBC One. But an important game, albeit for different reasons for these two sides, Matt Upson.
Very much so, Benno, as you mentioned, Spurs looking to continue their great start, and Leicester looking to put a stop to a pretty dreadful start. So both very different objectives, but nonetheless both very important.
I also notice as well that the clock on either side of the giant screens as Leicester City get us underway has actually been changed to the Queen's colours of purple and gold. So we're underway, you're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, and the David Luiz lookalikes, so straight away you can envisage what Wout Faes looks like as he makes his debut at the heart of the Leicester City defence. As the ball is played back to Hugo Lloris, he'll slot in alongside Johnny Evans as a Leicester City side that needs to stop conceding goals. Been extremely porous so far. As Sessegnon on this near side, the left, crosses from the left-hand side towards Harry Kane, and it's kneed away by Faes. And then Leicester City under pressure will try and beat the press, but it's chipped over the head of Tielemans. And the pressure that they came under, they've conceded an early throw.
A very cool first touch from Faes, wasn't it, in his own box? The ball cross came in, he didn't just put his foot through it and clear it, he tried to cushion the pass and very calmly just laid it off to a teammate. A very composed start from the debutant.
So if you missed how the teams are lining up, Lloris is in goal, he's all in yellow away towards our right hand side. Spurs are playing from right to left, white shirts, navy shorts, three at the back, Longley, Dyer and then Sanchez. The wing back, Sessegnon on the left, Perisic has switched to the right, Bentancur and Højbjerg in the centre, and then Kulusevski, Kane and Richarlison. Leicester City have Danny Ward in goal, back four of Castagnet, Faes, Evans and Justin. Ndidi, Tielemans, Dewsbury Hall, Barnes and Maddison, and Pats and Daka. Jamie Vardy still on the bench. Son dropped amongst the substitutes for a Leicester City side that is desperate to end this losing run. Ball stroked back by Sanchez, Dyer, Højbjerg even in the centre circle there. That forced Longley out towards this left-hand side. Richarlison's forward ball is blocked, and then Castagnet plays the ball away, and Leicester City midway through their own half with Ndidi to Tielemans. I'll remind you of the key scores in the Football League. Already run through what had happened in the top flight, as here is Dewsbury Hall caught in possession by Sanchez, manages to wriggle away from him on the halfway line. In Scotland, Rangers beat Dundee United by 2-1. Dundee United still bottom and winless. Rangers moved within 2 points of Celtic. Harry Kane picks up the ball for Spurs, runs forward. Harry Kane, edge of the area, and a combination of Ndidi and Evans stopped him. He's got an excellent scoring record against Leicester. Tielemans though caught in possession, and Sessegnon sends over the cross from the left. Already, Sessegnon getting forward at every opportunity.
That was great tackle from him on Tielemans. He just was very positive in his decision making early. Sessegnon stepped in, won the ball, won Spurs a throw in very high up the pitch.
Højbjerg round the corner to Kulusevski. Tielemans brings it away. Spurs are winning the ball back almost at every opportunity, but Maddison tries to spray it, cleared away by Sanchez. That wasn't the best touch. Straight to Daka, who then, was he caught by Perisic? The referee's played the advantage. Simon Hooper, Justin skips over a challenge, left hand side, goes down, and the referee has a look at it and gives a penalty. It was clumsy from Sanchez, who'd earlier actually committed a foul. The referee played the advantage on that occasion. Eric Dyer having a word with Simon Hooper, the referee, but he had a good look at it and he's given a penalty kick.
It's a calamitous passage of play from Davinson Sanchez and Perisic, actually, who dived in just beforehand and mistimed his tackle. But Sanchez, you're right, Deno, would have got booked for that. I think there's a real query on this one,
whether it's outside.
Yeah, it's bang on the line. You're wide of the 18-yard box. It's going close to the goal line, and Sanchez goes to ground very early, and it's almost like James Justin is waiting for that contact. He knows he's coming. There's no need to slide in at this area, and I think he catches it on the line.
Tielemans has placed the ball down on the spot. Jared Gillett is the VAR, but the penalty is about to be taken for Leicester City. Tielemans, who scored all 6 penalties for Leicester, but no more, as Hugo Lloris comes to Tottenham's rescue with a save low down towards his right hand side, and it remains 0-0. Excellent save by Lloris.
Absolutely cracking save. Hugo Lloris anticipated that brilliantly. He's done his homework. He read it so well. Tielemans, like you mentioned, usually so calm. He goes to the goalkeeper's right-hand side, but Lloris is already kind of anticipating his body weight shifting that way, and he gets down, makes a really strong save with his right hand.
The drama isn't over. They're now checking to see whether the penalty needs to be retaken.
Did he go early, Deno?
If Hugo Lloris has moved early off his goal line.
I said he anticipated it. It's almost like he went, I mean, from my perspective, he's gone very early, and I think if you look at the freeze frame, both feet have come off of the line as his body weight is going to the right, and it's going to be retaken. I mean, it was a great save, but he did go early.
Spotted by VAR, penalty to be retaken. Tielemans again, away towards our right-hand side. Last time he went to the same side, he goes this time, but he beats Lloris. He's gone to the left. Lloris diving towards his right-hand side, couldn't get there, and the retaken penalty means that Youri Tielemans has maintained his 100% record at taking spot kicks for Leicester, and they lead 6 minutes in 1-0.
Well, this is just what VAR brings, isn't it? It's the ups and downs, the elation of saving that penalty, all his teammates clapping, patting him on the back, and then all of a sudden the goal goes in. It's exactly the same penalty, executed better from Tielemans, it has to be said. It's a cleaner strike, it's more into the corner of the net, but it has to be said it's the right decision. Then when you look at the freeze frame, both feet are off that line before the ball is played.
Jared Gillett, whose last, of course, time when he was at VAR was to incorrectly rule out that dramatic West Ham United equaliser at Chelsea. On this occasion, VAR working very, very well, spotting the encroachment, and Leicester City take full advantage, leading by a goal to 0. Maddison. There is a history of goals between these two sides. The last 11 Premier League meetings have produced 48 goals, so take that to 49 now. Only one of the 105 league meetings you can now say has finished goalless between these two. As Tottenham, they're attacking. Perisic comes off the head. The mop of hair that is Wout Faes, and behind for a corner kick. So Spurs, after conceding late in Lisbon for those 2 goals in the Champions League, conceding early here in North London, behind by a goal to 0. Kulusevski's going to take the corner kick for Spurs, far side to right, rolls it short. Perisic gives it back to Kulusevski. Right corner of the area, plays in a diagonal ball. Harry Kane arriving at the far post. That lead for Leicester City didn't last long at all. And Harry Kane loves scoring against Leicester City. That's another one to add to his collection, and it's 1-1.
We have to applaud the quality from Kulusevski in the team today, in the place of Son. And already he's produced a piece of real quality with his left foot. He goes short for the corner, it's nicely played, he gets it back, gets it onto his left foot, and he crosses a delightful ball into that back post area. It's on a plate for Harry Kane, but you have to ask question marks of Leicester. I mean, this is so Leicester-like, isn't it? Get that lead, then all of a sudden just concede a goal at the other end. It's poor marking, they're not doing their job. Castagne's not locked in with Harry Kane, he loses his position and he just drifts around the back of him. It's a simple tap-in for the Spurs captain.
You cannot believe that Harry Kane was given that licence at the far post.
Honestly, if you're a defender, Harry Kane's there, your arm is around him, you're in contact. Even if you've got to bend the rules a little bit, get hold of his shirt, get your shoulder into his chest, you are touch tight to him in that situation. You cannot just watch the ball, let him find a bit of space and drift off the back of you, because that's what happens. It's just really poor defending from Castagne.
20 goals now in 19 career appearances against Leicester City for Harry Kane, who of course you might recall actually had a loan spell at Leicester in 2012-2013, but he's quickly equalised for Spurs. We're back at 1-1, and in a fixture that has produced goals down the years, we've had two inside 10 minutes. Cross, we might have another one here. Perisic was waiting. It was the ball from Longley, floated over, and then Perisic is adjudged to have fouled Justin, and that will be a free kick to Leicester City. Lively start, 1-1.
Yeah, lively start for the neutral, but I mean, I think it was 20 goals conceded from set pieces last season, Leicester. I don't know how many it is, I haven't seen this season that have conceded from set plays, but it's a massive Achilles heel, isn't it? I mean, at any level of the game, you cannot concede that amount of goals from set plays. It's just, you know, you're giving yourself an uphill battle all the time.
Well, that's 17 goals they've conceded. It's the most at this stage of the season since 83-84, which was when Gordon Milne was in charge of Leicester City. I think only Bournemouth have actually conceded more in the top flight. But the thing is, when you take the lead here at a place like Tottenham Hotspur, and you're on a losing run like Leicester are, you're then thinking, give yourself a fighting chance. And the lead lasted what? 3 minutes, 2 minutes?
If that, I mean, and a set piece as well, Deno. You know, you should be locking in and doing your job, taking responsibility.
Bentancur to Richarlison. Bentancur has continued his run. Evans comes sliding across. Sessegnon wings it back, sends over the cross. Dewsbury Hall with a clearance just inside his penalty area. And Spurs, who are playing from right to left, get a throw on this near side, the left-hand side, that Harry Kane takes himself, and he goes back to Longley. I remember Longley playing against Leicester City in the Champions League for Sevilla. But he's arrived from Barcelona now as the French international, tall and lean with his short brown hair, up towards Richarlison. Little flick there, too sharp for Harry Kane, lost his balance, and it goes through to Wout Faes. Now to Evans, hits it forward, off the chest of Daka, bounces away from Højbjerg, helped out by Tielemans. Here is Maddison, shields the ball away from Sessegnon. Inside then to Dewsbury Hall, passes the ball out towards Barnes on the left-hand side. Down the penalty area side he goes, but blocked there by Perisic, helped out by Kulusevski. And Tottenham will clear back towards Sanchez. He'll be a little relieved, Sanchez, won't he? It was clumsy from him.
He's got that in the locker though, hasn't he? Davinson Sanchez to start a game and look a little bit rocky. You know, he's got a mistake, a bit of a missed. I mean, it was poor because there was two mistime tackles, wasn't there? The first one was probably a yellow card.
Referee played the advantage.
And I think it was Perisic came in with a poor time tackle, didn't get there, and then recovering from the first one, Sanchez then comes back and concedes the penalty. It was a real calamitous passage of play.
Sessegnon, that's the voice of Matt Upson, who's with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live as Richarlison curls the ball out towards Perisic. Perisic running forward. Perisic enters the penalty area onto his left foot, feeling for handball as the block came in from Ndidi. And Justin will play the ball out of defence, and the interception from Sanchez.
I mean, that just opened up there, didn't it?
Ball given away, back towards Daka. Bentancur gets back at him and gets a good block challenge in. And Højbjerg now in the midfield, links up with Bentancur. Højbjerg now to Richarlison, finds an area of space, just overhits it and shows too much of the ball to Evans, who says slow down to Ndidi, who passes the ball forward, laid off by Daka. Now to Maddison, central area, 10 yards forward of the centre circle on BBC Radio 5 Live, 13 and a half minutes played, 1-1.
I'm starting to see why this fixture's brought so many goals over the... How open is it? I mean, just then, Daka elects to shoot. It's such a poor choice. Maddison is in so much space on the... If he just got to slide him the ball, he's in. And prior to that, nobody was going to come and pressure Perisic for Spurs, and he nearly scores as well. I mean, already in this game, there's not been that much quality football played in terms of opening teams up. It's just been too easy for both teams to create chances.
Well, it is a game where you talk about goals. Your final appearance in the Premier League was in this fixture, and that was goals. There were 7 that day.
Got me thinking there, you know. Yeah, I remember.
21st of March.
Yeah. I came off at half time with a hamstring, I think.
Wasn't the end of your career?
I was done then. I was done.
You went on to make 7 more appearances for MK Dons.
Yeah. It's close enough to the end.
The ball is played inside. Harry Kane scored a hat-trick that day. Spurs won 4-3.
Didn't we like 3-0 down or something, and then had a little bit of a... I went off and we came back into it.
I'll check those details out.
Yeah, I think it was, if I remember rightly.
Here is Fars. Slowed down a little bit now in terms of the tempo. Still 1-1. 15 minutes played. Fars out to that far side to Justin. Back with Fars once again.
I think it was Kyle Walker that finished me off then. He ran past me once and that was it.
Well, he's still got the electrifying pace, if it makes you feel any better. Here is Castagnet to Tielemans inside. Maddison comes back onto his right foot, plays it short to the right corner of the area. Tielemans with a cross, claimed by Lloris. Good claim as well, confident.
Very good. Read it well, got out, got high amongst the bodies. Is what you want from your goalkeeper. Come and take command the box. He did that well.
Kulusevski held up by Justin. Kulusevski still going, right corner of the area, back to Harry Kane. Harry Kane drags the ball but only into the path of Evans, and then the clearance falls to Højbjerg, who hits it, central position, now just under 30 yards out, right-footed, couldn't keep it down, and out for a goal kick, and it remains Tottenham Hotspur 1, Leicester City 1.
Well, Kulusevski's fuming that Højbjerg didn't find him with a pass there. He has started the game well, hasn't he, Kulusevski? He's a player who at the moment looks to be brimming with confidence. When he gets the ball, he's very comfortable going at defenders. It's releasing the ball. I think that's the biggest thing that's changed in his game. A lot of players like him who are good dribblers and can take players on, then the releasing of the ball, they hold on to it for too long, but he's being very collective with the way he plays and really trying to lay other players in and share the ball at the right moment. He's looking good for Tottenham.
He's been a substitute in the last 3 games, but starting tonight, and it's Son who makes way. 17 minutes played, 1 apiece, which was the same scoreline as how it finished at St James's Park. We'll have reaction of Newcastle Bournemouth for you at half-time. Wolves 0, Manchester City 3 was the lunchtime game in the top flight. Perisic over the halfway line for Spurs, white shirts, navy shorts, still clear blue skies above the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Dyer, Langley hits it forward, leaping to head it away was Johnny Evans. A lot of space for Tielemans to pick up the ball for Leicester City. Back with Ndidi, and now with Maddison on the halfway line. Maddison slides it in along the ground. Daka looks for the run off that left touch line by Barnes, partially cleared by Spurs. Back out towards Daka, left-hand side of the penalty area, dances around the ball, plays it back. Maddison retrieves it. Maddison will shoot. Took a bit of a deflection, struck the chest of Longley, and Bentancur towards Richarlison, who will now run forward midway through his own half on this near side. Antonio Conte watching on, caught in possession, but the applause from the Tottenham head coach. Now with Dewsbury Hall forward of the centre circle. Justin joins the attack, passes the ball to Johnny Evans, and with the exception of Belfast, every outfield player is in the Tottenham half as we look towards our right hand side.
There's been some nice attacking play from Leicester though. The interchange of the front three, Harvey Barnes coming off that line really well. We know Maddison likes to come in and find that space, and a couple of times Daka's come short. And I think Dyer, Sanchez, Longley not quite sure as to whether or not they need to go or stay, and they're moving them around at times, the Leicester front three, with some really nice movement.
Dewsbury Hall gives the ball away. Kulusevski on that far side, the right. Sanchez plays a diagonal ball forward. Bentancur loses it. Just too many blue shirts around him in the midfield. Now with Dewsbury Hall to Maddison. Maddison shapes to shoot. Block comes in from Longley, and Didi gives it away. Retrieved back though by Harvey Barnes. Leicester just trying to cause Spurs a few problems, primarily down that far side. It seems to have stayed out as the referee ducks, and now they switch it to the right, and Castagnier couldn't keep the ball in play. As we made our way towards the concourse, did you notice what track of music was being played as we made our way to our commentary position here today?
No.
It was Adele.
Oh.
And for my sins, I've been roped into a cameo role. Oh no, definitely not singing. A cameo role each Saturday morning for Patrick Keelty, the new voice of Saturday mornings on BBC Radio 5 Live, where they've got a feature called Beat the Commentator, and today it was Statboy George who got the victory. I think it'll be a recurring theme now each Saturday morning. But his stat was that the Spurs fan Adele bought Sylvester Stallone's house in Beverly Hills for £48 million. It was almost as if they knew that we were inside the ground when they played Adele.
Yeah. Well, she sold a few records then, so.
Yeah. £48 million.
Just a few.
Ball forward by Dyer, bouncing away from Richarlison. That'd be the asking price for a Matt Upson these days, wouldn't it, in the transfer market?
Not based on that performance at Tottenham.
1-1, 5 Live. 20 minutes in, and Tottenham Hotspur have just been awarded a corner kick, which Perisic is going to trundle across to take. He's in no real hurry in front of the three-tiered stand towards our left-hand side.
I mean, Leicester's confidence in this situation can't be good.
No,
cannot be good. I mean, they know themselves that how poor they've been in set pieces, and Tottenham look to be just setting this one up.
Perisic then for the corner kick for Spurs, near side the left. In it goes towards the near post, flicked on, and Eric Dyer with the header, and Leicester City once again found wanting at a set piece, and Tottenham Hotspur have come from behind, and Eric Dyer's second goal of the season, celebrating his England call-up with a goal. Spurs 2, Leicester City 1.
I don't really know what you need to say about Leicester on this set piece, to be honest. I mean, Eric Dyer makes a decent run. It's a nice delivery into that near post area. There's not one player being commanding to go and head that ball. The ball has been headed on the edge of the 6-yard box line, about 4 yards in front of the near post, and it's just been flicked onto that back post area. There's nobody on the back post to head this one away. It's almost like Ndidi's come up. There's nobody on either post actually, and they just look at 6s and 7s, Leicester. Whenever there is a set piece, like we mentioned before, you just feel there's going to be a goal. And Tottenham, okay, good delivery, credit to Eric Dyer, gets his head on the end of it and just flicks the ball, but it's just too easy.
And now straight away you're thinking, for a side that's lost 5 on the bounce, you've just thrown away another lead, which they've done on a number of occasions already this season. You're thinking this is going to be a test of the confidence of these Leicester players.
a massive test of confidence, and having what's happened in this game, just it keeps compounding this problem. And you have to say, Deno, I mean, they've looked good in moments, and there's flashes. There's some talent in this team. You look at Maddison, Barnes, Dewsbury Hall, a good young talent, Tielemans. I mean, we're talking about good players here that can play with the ball, but there's an underlying thing that's missing in this group about how they perform, how they cope with going ahead and then holding on to a lead. And it's not anything to do with how good of players they are. It's just like a steeliness that's missing.
Well, Eric Dyer, his goal against Southampton on the opening day was his first since May 2019. He's now added goal number 2 for the season, and Spurs are leading Leicester by 2-1. Here is Justin for Leicester City. Chips the ball towards Maddison. Comes off the shoulder of Longley, and it'll be cleared by Sessegnon up towards Richarlison. Tielemans pulling him, holding him, and giving away a free kick. Well, I was prepared to wait till half-time for details of March 2015 from the 21st of March that day, but Andy Gillies, our producer, says that the Kane hat-trick, he scored 2 in the first 13 minutes, and Spurs won it with Schlupp, an own goal on it, 85 minutes.
Was it? So Leicester got back into it at 3-3 then?
Yeah.
See, I was on in the first half. I don't know what to say. 13 minutes was Kane.
I was prepared to let it ride.
I remember one of the goals, it was like a set piece deflected and he just tapped it in from a few yards out, you know.
Yeah.
It happens, then.
Well, listen, look, the level that you played at, England international and all that, it's only what people can dream of.
Yeah, well, Leicester stayed up by the skin of their teeth that season. It was a remarkable way that they did it, to be honest, Nigel Pearson, and then obviously went on to great things the following year. I've left the club by then.
In fact, the last time that they lost 6 successive games was Nigel Pearson when he was in charge, December 2014. Now they're 2-1 down. They did take the lead, and Sanchez coming forward for Tottenham Hotspur. 25 minutes played on BBC Radio 5 Live. Mistake by Perisic. And it's Barnes coming forward to Tielemans. Man over is Maddison inside the penalty area. Back to Tielemans. Tielemans with the back heel. And it was then Bentancur to break up play. And now all of a sudden Spurs can come forward.
So overcomplicated that, wasn't it? Great opportunity by Leicester, just trying to almost walk the ball into the net. Somebody have a shot. There was great shooting opportunities. Nobody took it.
Kulusevski, right hand side, goes on the outside of Justin into the penalty area. Justin recovers, slides over, forces the ball behind. And it goes out for a corner kick to Tottenham, who lead by 2-1.
It's a good match-up that at the moment, Justin and Kulusevski. Justin will be looking to really put himself again against the Spurs man who's in good form. Recently had an England call-up, James Justin, prior to this recent squad, and I think he'll be looking to show that he's able to cope with players like Kulusevski at the moment.
Corner kick then to Tottenham Hotspur, far side the right. Leicester City have every royal blue shirt inside the penalty area bar Maddison. He's just keeping an eye on Kulusevski to prevent the short one from being taken on that far side. And it goes now. Goalkeeper's under pressure, hasn't got there, the ball's gone in. And the referee, Simon Hooper, is looking at it and has ruled the goal out. It will be checked as a matter of course, not too sure who got the final touch, but again the goalkeeper was struggling to deal with it. Danny Ward is saying that there was a foul on me. Harry Kane now is talking to Simon Hooper, and once again VAR will be called into it here. It was an in-swinging corner kick. Sanchez appears to impede the keeper.
It's going to be given as a foul, but it's starting to get a bit ridiculous, isn't it, in terms of the ball actually goes off Ndidi's hand. It's a direct ball, nobody touches the corner. Sanchez jumps into Ward, who isn't really a big presence in that 6-yard, but it doesn't get off the ground. I mean, I don't think Sanchez does too much wrong other than jump and compete for the ball, but you're not allowed to do that against the goalkeeper and almost make contact. But it then touches Ndidi's hand and goes in, but it's getting a bit of a joke then, though, isn't it? Every set piece or corner, you just feel they're going to concede, Leicester.
It seemed that his left arm was across the 2 arms of Ward, who's trying to catch the ball.
It was, but don't you think that Ward's slow in getting up and dealing with that? So almost Sanchez has got the drop of him, jumped earlier, and the goalkeeper's not up and big and high in the air, and Sanchez just kind of knocks him a little bit, and yes, there is contact, and I think it was always going to get given as a foul, but the point I'm making is it's not confident, dominant defending at set pieces, is it, by the outfield players or the goalkeeper.
Leicester City trying to come forward. Bentancur breaks up play. Spurs then still lead by 2-1. What must be alarming for a Leicester City supporter is that it was your Achilles heel last season to deal with a threat at set pieces, the amount of goals they conceded, and it doesn't seem to have been. They haven't eradicated that.
No, it's not been addressed, has it, in the way that you can see them setting up, or it's awful, but a lot of it is a mentality thing. It's a mentality of having your job, having your man, knowing that they're not going to score, taking that kind of responsibility to deal with it. That's a huge part of defending set plays, and you can't say that this Leicester team has that in abundance at all. If anything, they almost shrink when that ball is in that corner quadrant.
Longley back to Højbjerg outside the centre circle of the Tottenham Hotspur half. Sanchez plays it forward. Kulusevski just finds an area of space there in between the lines, but then he passes the ball and gives it away towards Wout Vaas, stepping out of defence. Now the ball is played towards Daka, and Daka coming forward now here, and he takes it on early. I think he was aware that Sanchez was running towards him, but he shoots even before he enters the penalty area, and it was a comfortable save in the end for Hugo Lloris. 2-1 Tottenham.
Spurs wide open again, both centre backs, Dyer and Longley go in. They leave the space for Daka to run into. It's a good pass in, and how poor was that finish? I mean, I don't understand why he's worrying about Sanchez. If he just has a good touch and is confident, he'll deal with it and should score.
Perisic on the right hand side for Spurs, held up by Justin, turns, crosses the ball, reaches Harry Kane with his back to goal, runs it out of the penalty area, just couldn't quite control it. Longley back towards Højbjerg, now with a Frenchman, forward ball, Sessing on left hand side of the penalty area, down towards the byline, takes a deflection, corner kick to Tottenham Hotspur, who lead 2-1, half an hour played.
I mean, the half hour in, the ball's been in the net 4 times. I mean, there's been probably 3 other chances, or at least 2 that good goal scoring opportunities. The game is so open. Good though, exciting to watch.
It is, yeah. 2 balls on the pitch momentarily as Perisic just kicks one away from a eager ball boy as he sits back down on his little stool away towards our left hand side. Perisic places the ball down in the quadrant.
It can't be a goal from this one.
Well,
surely.
We'll see. Caused a number of problems from set pieces. Perisic once again to take it near side the left, didn't beat the first man, headed out by Dewsbury Hall. The ironic cheers are from the travelling support from Leicester. That tells you everything about what we were saying about how they feel.
That's not good, is it? Your own fans are cheering when you defend a set play successfully.
Just highlights the how many goals they concede from set pieces. Dyer picks out Sessegnon. Sessegnon edge of the area, bounces off Kane. Acrobatic effort from Richarlison, was blocked by Johnny Evans. Comes back to Harry Kane. Harry Kane caught by Tielemans. 30 yards out, central area. Barnes plays it towards Maddison. Maddison rolls it away from Bentancur. Runs forward now midway through his own half, all in royal blue. 14 minutes to go to half-time.
That effort from Richarlison, that looked like he was going on target. Then, I mean, it was really acrobatic, wasn't it? He manages to get his foot so high, made good contact with the ball. I think it struck Johnny Evans, didn't it, roughly on the penalty spot. It was a good block from the Leicester captain.
Great technique, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good.
Richarlison. Scored 2 goals against Marseille, but he's looking to open up his account for Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. 13 minutes to go to half-time. Antonio Conte still patrolling that technical area and barking out the orders and pointing here and there with his right hand and then his left hand as Tielemans goes back towards Johnny Evans for Leicester City. They've kept 1 clean sheet now in their last 30 away games in the Premier League. The Leicester City side, bottom of the Premier League. Evans, forward ball. Tielemans turns outside the centre circle in the Spurs half. Maddison, short diagonal ball, plays it back. Gets it, a return ball from Castagnier. He wants Vars to come forward. Baptism of fire for Wout Vars on his Leicester City debut. As the ball from Justin. Spurs seem quite content for Leicester to have the ball here in this middle third, then towards Maddison, about 10 yards in from the right touch line. And now with Vars once more. Justin had made a run. Vars though waits, goes back towards Evans. Both fullbacks actually pushed on quite high from Leicester City, but they're being patient without really going anywhere. Now it's with Vars, through the middle towards Tielemans. And Dewsbury Hall was quickly squeezed out of the play, and now Tottenham decide to push on out.
Well, the Spurs are definitely more vulnerable when they're higher up the pitch, for sure. I mean, Leicester, great counter-attacking team, like to play over the top, and the two chances, certainly the Daka one, was when they're high, they don't win the ball and the space is there, and Dyer's not too comfortable in that situation, but when he's deep and it's in front of him, he copes with it well.
Here is Dewsbury Hall. Castagnier gets it out from underneath his right foot, sends in a diagonal cross. Powered header away by Dyer, and it comes back to Dewsbury Hall, who hits it left-footed on the rise outside the area and out for a goal kick. And it's still Tottenham Hotspur 2, Leicester City 1, 34 minutes play.
That's a chance for him. Dewsbury Hall just ricocheted onto him on his left foot, and his left foot is better than that. He's got a brilliant strike, as we've seen already this season, with his left foot, and he just cuts across that ball, doesn't strike it that cleanly. If he keeps it low, he's got a real chance of scoring.
Leicester City's player of the season last year. Here is Maddison, edge of the area, out to Tielemans, right hand side, back towards Maddison. Richarlison running back with the interception. Slice clearance somewhat by Sessegnon, headed forward by Vars, and it runs through to Hugo Lloris. Dewsbury Hall certainly did well in that loan spell at Luton Town. 40 appearances and 3 goals during his time at Luton, who I noticed today beat Blackburn Rovers, who were third, by 2-0. And Sheffield United going extremely well under Paul Heckingbottom. 3 points clear now after a 2-0 win at Deepdale, where Norwich City drew 1-1 with West Bromwich Albion. They still remain second. Dewsbury Hall, Tielemans. 10 minutes to go to half-time on BBC Radio 5 Live. Justin, from the Luton player himself, crosses the ball, actually took a deflection off Barnes and out of the path of Castagnier, who then didn't keep the ball in play on this near side. A lapse of concentration overruns it. It'll be a Spurs throw.
I mean, you saw a little snippet there of what James Justin's capable of there. He literally knocked the ball and ran around Perisic. Great turn of pace. He's a really explosive player on that left side and whipped in a really good cross with his left foot. I mean, Leicester do look dangerous, don't they? They've got they've got these exciting players at times that really do come into the game. They've got nice movement. There's passages of play that are lovely.
Yeah, they've certainly, and with Vardy potentially to come off the bench as well.
Yeah,
slender deficit that they're trailing at the moment by 2-1. They will still feel that they could maybe get something from this game. The only worry is the way that they're defending. You would particularly worry as Castagnier sends over a cross. Good header away by Sanchez. Dewsbury Hall comes back to Barnes, but he was surely coming back from an offside position, and indeed the flag is raised and he's killed it over the top and out for a goal kick. In League One it remains very much the case of as it was with the top four, no change, thanks to late equalisers for Sheffield Wednesday and Portsmouth. So Sheffield Wednesday 2, Ipswich 2, Ipswich still unbeaten, still top, Portsmouth 2, Plymouth 2, Portsmouth second and still unbeaten. And Burton and Morecambe got their first wins of the season, Burton winning away at Exeter and Morecambe away at Forest Green. And in League 2, Leyton Orient 4 points clear after a 1-0 win over Walsall. Stevenage lost at Valley Parade. Andy Cook wants it again in amongst the goals for Bradford City. Mark Hughes' Bradford City winning 3-0 against Stevenage, and Barrow moves second after a 2-0 win at Newport. Pete Wilde doing an excellent job since he's taken charge there for Barrow. 8 minutes to go to half-time. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. Spurs lead 2-1. Madison's forward ball headed away by Sanchez. Højbjerg holds off the challenge of Dewsbury Hall. Danish international now to Longley, outside his own penalty area. Dyer's clearance was low, straight towards Ndidi. Dewsbury Hall coming forward, given away cheaply by Barnes for Leicester City, straight to Perisic, but Leicester win the ball back. Maddison dispossessing Højbjerg, edge of the area, back towards Dewsbury Hall. Sanchez gets the foot into the challenge, Ndidi with a drive, right-footed, always on the rise, goal kick, 2-1 Tottenham.
Well, Harry Kane just gesturing to his teammates to calm down with the ball. I mean, Leicester, I feel, last 10 minutes have really had control of this game. They're probing, some nice passages of play. They've had a few efforts on goal, and if they'd have just released the ball earlier 1 or 2 times, definite goal scoring opportunities, and Tottenham are on the back foot since they've scored their second goal, and Leicester looking good value in this game.
7 minutes to go to half time. Spurs still lead 2-1. Fast gets there before Harry Kane. Harry Kane, though, now with the ball at his feet on the halfway line on that right hand side, switches play to Sessegnon. Longley comes on the overlap. Sessegnon tries to play it forward, blocked by the knees of Tielemans, and Leicester City now on the counter-attack with Daka. They've got Dyer and Sanchez back to thwart that run. Waits for the supporting shirts in the royal blue. Maddison to Dewsbury Hall. Justin jogging on his outside. Here he is, the England international, left corner of the area, back towards Barnes. Plays the ball short and inside. Maddison plays it back out to Dewsbury Hall. Spurs sitting deep. Maddison looking to create, and Ndidi back in his midfield role goes back to Evans. Spurs sitting in there. You can feel the crowd's frustration with Tottenham Hotspur sitting as deep as they are.
But do you see, like, when they got high, they were really vulnerable. You know, they had to get shirts back in because they're high up the pitch, and when Leicester win it, the pitch is so open. I'm not too sure about Bentancur in the middle for Tottenham at the moment. He's kind of in between players out of possession. He's not winning anything in terms of second ball or tackling. He's pressing tight, high up the pitch now. But they just seem to be able, Leicester, if they win the ball and it pops into midfield, they get their head up and there's a pass on to hurt Tottenham over the top if they get too high. So they're almost safer sitting back. I know the fans are frustrated there at home, but it's harder for Leicester to break down.
Ball is back with Ward, the goalkeeper. He's almost got himself into a pickle there from Kulusevski. The pass from Vars, he's let it come across his body onto his right foot, and then Kulusevski's closed him down very quickly, and he's done a little turn. He's got away with it. Dewsbury Hall now just inside the Leicester City half. Leicester are playing from left to right. 5 minutes to go to half time. Spurs still lead 2-1. Sessegnon beaten in the air by Castagnier. Castagnier hooks the ball in towards Maddison, and Maddison with a fine equaliser. And Leicester City's good spell has brought a deserved equaliser. Maddison took it very, very well, right-footed, and it just went past the lunge of Lloris. And it's Tottenham Hotspur 2, Leicester City 2.
What a good goal from James Maddison. Absolutely out of nothing, this goal. It's a crossfield ball. I mean, Leicester have deserved it. They've been the team asking the questions and had the lion's share of possession. But it's an average crossfield ball from Dewsbury Hall that really Sessegnon, if he gets up and heads it, should win it. I think Antonio Conte will be really disappointed with his wing back in terms of competing in the air. Castagna puts him under pressure. The ball falls for him along the line. He gets there before Sessegnon. He gets his head up and he just puts this little ball into the box. It's probably close to the penalty spot, and Maddison's arriving and he swings his right foot first time. It's an awkward height as well, Deno. He's kind of bouncing up, isn't it? And he doesn't strike the ball clean. He just kind of guides it into that far post area. It's a really measured finish under pressure from Eric Dyer coming out to face him, but brilliant goal out of nothing. Real piece of skill for Maddison to finish like that.
I would like to look at it again from Maddison. I'm not too sure whether he actually caught it maybe on his shin.
Do you think so? He just kind of like guided it, didn't he? Just took the pace off it a little bit.
But I wonder if that was because it wasn't such a clean strike, and it created that spin almost like in a slow motion, whether that deceived Lloris.
Honestly, to score from that is very difficult. It almost had to be something like a bit of a miscue, or he just timed it well and got the contact on the ball, but it was inch perfect, wasn't it?
Certainly looked good.
Lloris was at full stretch.
2-2. 3 minutes to go to half time.
It was coming, wasn't it?
It was coming. Here is Richarlison. Foul just hauled down by Ndidi. Simon Hooper, the bald-headed referee, is just going to call Ndidi towards him, and he's just pointing out in various areas of the pitch, be careful, persistent offending, the next time you might be in trouble.
Yeah, it's a good chat from the referee. Cynical defending from Ndidi, knew exactly what he's doing, and I think he's well aware that anymore he'll be yellow carded.
I think he's refereed the game well so far, hasn't he? Played the advantage earlier on, which led to the Leicester penalty.
Yeah, I agree.
Free kick then to Tottenham Hotspur, 2-2. 2.5 minutes to go to half time on 5 Live. And it's going to be Perisic to take it. It's arcs its way in, off the crossbar from Sanchez header. Danny Ward was beaten. Sanchez then bundled to the floor. Spurs supporters rather than the players are appealing for a penalty. Kulusevski right hand side, down towards the corner flag, he's forced away, shepherded away from danger by 2 Leicester players. Justin will bring the ball clear. Sanchez now appeals to the referee, Simon Hooper.
Well, I was going to say this is a set piece though, Benno, and honestly I'm not sure if anyone in the Leicester team wants to head the ball at the moment. Tottenham are getting the first contact on everything. It's a good in-swinging free kick. Sanchez gets up above Ndidi. It's a good glancing header, and it's actually a really good save from Ward with his right arm. He just tips it onto the crossbar. But another example of Spurs having better anticipation, desire, physicality to go and head the ball in the opposition box, and Leicester just aren't competitive.
I know a number of scouts, and with their beady eyes they never miss anything, but the scouts of Forest and Bournemouth and Crystal Palace will be doing their homework on Leicester for the games after the international break, as here is Maddison scoops his effort wide. They will be certainly making copious notes about how Leicester looks so vulnerable at set pieces time and time again.
It's got to the point where it looks like a bit of a confidence thing, doesn't it? Of like the lack of belief that they're going to go and win that ball. You know, that they're just not competing. There's no physicality. There's nobody making life difficult for the opposition. Nobody's putting a shoulder into anyone or being physical. It's almost like they're drifting into these places and allowing the opposition to take control of the situation.
Ball given away cheaply by Tottenham. Dewsbury Hall, Tielemans from long range, charged down, ball spins away. Lloris comes out of his penalty area, down by the byline on this near side, the Tottenham left, and clears, headed back then by Johnny Evans, and then played forward by Longley. Perisic and Sessegnon have actually switched now. Not too sure whether that's just a temporary thing, but Perisic is on the left and Sessegnon is on the right. Daka battling for the ball on the edge of the area. 2 minutes have added on time that we're now into here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's 2-2. We talked before about the confidence levels. Leicester are certainly growing in confidence. Here is Justin, central area, to Tielemans. Castagnier makes the run ahead of him. Maddison now on the ball, right side, sends over a cross, headed away by Dyer. Not too sure what the two managers will make of it, but it's been an enjoyable contest.
Not too sure what I make of it, to be honest. It's an interesting game, isn't it? And you take the set pieces away from Leicester, they've probably been the most dominant team, haven't they? They've asked the most questions, they've had probably, feels like, more of the ball, and they've had nice pattern of play, of movements. You know Spurs have got that cutting edge with the quality they have in terms of goals in the team, but Leicester have played well other than the set piece debacles.
Here is Evans spraying the ball forward. Castagnier against Perisic now, so that they have switched the wing backs in the closing stages of this first half. Certainly Sessegnon beaten with ease in the air by Castagnier, who then responded very, very quickly to send over the cross to the Leicester City equaliser.
I mean, it makes sense because obviously James Justin's a bit more pacey. He went round Perisic so easily a moment before then, so whether or not he's looked at that and thought, well, maybe Sessegnon's better equipped to deal with Justin, and likewise with Perisic and Castagnier.
Here it is with Perisic, a diagonal throw. Barnes picks up the loose ball to Daka, turns, edge of the area, feeds it into Maddison. Maddison shoots, Lloris with the save. Struck it fierce, low, first time right-footed. And Lloris with the save, and then now is Richarlison has gone down, free kick. But another opening for Leicester City.
Well, Antonio Conte is letting his players know he's not going to be happy at half-time. I can see him blowing a gasket at half-time. It's just so easy for Tottenham. For Leicester, they win the ball. The space, Deno. I mean, look how much time Maddison has to strike that ball. I mean, he does well. He gets his head down just hits it low. He almost tries to drive it underneath Lloris. He hits it that hard, he wants it to go through his legs or just down by his ankles, but he gets a strong foot on it and managed to save it.
There's a few murmurs there for the half-time whistle from the Tottenham Hotspur supporters, because the half-time score here is Tottenham 2, Leicester City 2. Leicester City taking the lead from a retaken penalty from Tielemans. Lloris had saved the first one, however encroachment from the French international meant it had to be retaken. Tielemans didn't make the same mistake, he scored then, but it lasted a matter of minutes before Kane's far post header from a Kulusevski diagonal cross, and then Dyer's header after 22 minutes put Spurs 2-1 up. However, Leicester City came back into the game and deservedly level.
Plenty to talk about and see, isn't there? It's almost like neither team's really come out here today with a proper defensive plan or an attitude to get out to the ball, be physical, make life difficult for the opposition. I think both teams just want to have the ball and play. That's how the game's playing out. That's why it's so open. That's why we're seeing 4 goals in it already in the first half. But I think Antonio Conte, from his body language there just before half-time, he's not going to be happy in that dressing room.
Half-time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur 2, Leicester City 2. Thanks, Mark. Well, during the half-time interval, Song was warming up, Romero was warming up, but the Spurs players have just come out, and there's not going to be a half-time change made by Antonio Conte, so it's going to be the same players that finished that first half, which is Hugo Lloris in goal, back three of Sanchez, Dyer and Longley, Perisic and Sessegnon, Bentancur and Højbjerg, and then Kulusevski, Richarlison and Harry Kane. White shirts, navy shorts, playing from left to right in this second half as we look, sitting high in this main stand of this impressive arena in North London, where the sun still shines and still the clear blue skies up above. Leicester City haven't made any changes either, so in their all-royal blue, Danny Ward is in goal, Castagnier, Fas, Evans and Justin the defence, midfield of Tielemans, Dewsbury Hall and Ndidi, Barnes and Maddison, and Daka as the lone striker. We're back underway. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live. 606 to follow this game, 08085909693 to speak to Chris and Robbie Savage. And we were just talking amongst ourselves, weren't we, there at half-time, Matt Upson, and what a chaotic first half that really was at 2-2.
It really was, very open, and like you say, you could probably link that to the word chaotic at times.
Here is Kulusevski, just outside the area, Sessegnon on the right-hand side. They made that switch. Sessegnon originally was the left wing back, Perisic on the right-hand side. They made that switch towards the end of the first half. They've stayed there, so Sessegnon's still on the right-hand side. And this is with Kulusevski. Back to Højbjerg.
I think Spurs were out a good minute or two early as well, weren't they, from half-time? What does that normally say?
Our manager isn't happy.
Most of the time, doesn't it? Get out there, I've said my piece.
Well, let's see what they can do. Brendan Rodgers with in his dark suit on the edge of that technical area. We had a minute's silence ahead of the game, just as a reminder that in 70 minutes fans are being invited to applaud to mark the Queen's 70-year reign, as Gary Mabbott was out at half-time talking about his memories as Bentancur has won the ball from Ndidi. Bentancur goes on and Bentancur has scored. It's his first goal for Tottenham Hotspur. He robbed Ndidi and then really made him pay with a low right-footed shot that clipped the inside of the right-hand post. And 2 minutes into the second half, Spurs are back in front at 3-2.
Well, Ndidi, looking at his teammates, putting his hand up, there's not much he can say. He just gets caught on the ball. He receives it in the centre of the park from Johnny Evans, I think it is, and he's so square on. He's not on the half turn. He hasn't checked his shoulder. He's got no idea of what's around him. And Bentancur has just gambled. Fair play to him. It's early on in the second half. He thought, I'm going to go and press here. And indeed, he's just touched the ball to the right-hand side. He's read it superbly, Bentancur, and he's in on goal. He gets his head up, and have a look at that finish. He's so composed, it really is. He just passes the ball. It's not even a shot really. He just sees that near post, side foot, passes it with pace off the post and in. It's a great finish from Bentancur, but it's all about Ndidi's awareness. He doesn't know what's around him.
And Ndidi just buried his head in his hands. He knew, and now all of a sudden, to compound matters, he's just gone and caught Højbjerg, and he's been shown a yellow card. That really has been a horrible 60 seconds for Ndidi.
It's the same thing, wasn't it? Played to him in the same manner. Højbjerg this time pressing in high. In fairness, the pass to him's not a good one. He shouldn't receive the ball there, but he gets the ball from his teammate, and he's just not ready for it. The pressure from Tottenham's noticeably different, isn't it? The way they've pressed in, they've just gone with far more intensity at the start of the second half.
Harry Kane with a free kick, he floats it forward. Sessegnon right hand side of the penalty area. Great noise inside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Bentancur's first goal for Tottenham Hotspur, his first goal in 119 club appearances. His last goal was Juventus against Roma in January 2020. As Eric Dyer spreads play out to Perisic. First time layoff, Richarlison, edge of the area. Richarlison passes the ball. Højbjerg steadies himself. Højbjerg back towards Kulusevski, edge of the box, right-footed, couldn't keep it down. Out for a goal kick, Spurs lead 3-2.
Well, what you expect from Spurs really at home. The start of this second half, far more intensity, bit more purpose. Players getting forward, better passing of the ball. It's a great pass from Eric Dyer initially. It just split the play, really big diagonal out wide. First time ball from Perisic, and Richarlison was in business, and that's the kind of speed that Tottenham need to move the ball.
It is a wonderful stadium, this Tottenham Hotspur ground here, and the hospitality as well, just for your paying punter. I'm not talking about the prawn sandwich brigade, but as a result, a number of the supporters who no doubt were enjoying the hospitality on the vast concourses are still filing their way down the gangways, or filing their way up the gangways to take their respective seats, so they would have missed that goal. They won't want to miss this one. Spurs are attacking again. Kulusevski, right hand side of the penalty area, back with Højbjerg. Kulusevski level with the penalty box, right corner. Højbjerg plays it in low. Richarlison with his back to goal, tries to get Sessegnon in. Sessegnon cuts the ball back, appealing for handball there from the cutback of Sessegnon. Leicester get it away. Kulusevski no back, right corner once more, onto his left foot, shoots, takes a deflection, headed away then by Evans. Good header out. Dewsbury Hall stumbles, and Bentancur picks it back up, and Spurs are looking to remain very much on the front foot. Harry Kane makes the run in behind, left hand side, enters the penalty area, down towards the byline. Good strength from Harry Kane. Harry Kane still going, wins a corner. He's done well against two Leicester players.
Well, this is more the start that I'm sure the Leicester players would have been expecting to face at this stadium. It's taken till after half time for Spurs to really come out and play with a bit of dominance and force behind them. You can tell they've had probably some harsh words from Antonio Conte, but they've come out in this second half and really got a stranglehold of the game.
Come on you Spurs is the deafening chant. 3-2 they lead. Corner kick, flicked on, caught by Ward. It was a stooping Eric Dyer who flicked it on near side of the 6-yard box. Ward with the catch at his near post.
There's another set play where a Tottenham shirt gets the first contact on the ball. Okay, it was a low corner. It should have been blocked out at the near post, missed the near man, but Eric Dyer gets across someone and gets that first glancing header. Would you regard yourself as the prawn sandwich brigade then? Are you in that bracket? I mean, you were here at what, 1:30?
I was here early, but
why? Why'd you get here that early? Don't know.
I just thought it always pays to get here early.
Do some notes or soak up the hospitality?
Yeah. Preparation is everything, Matt.
Yeah.
As you know only too well.
You can't go into a commentary with an empty stomach, can you?
Phone lines are open for 606. Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage, 08085 909 and 693. Just leave out the and when you're calling. Here is Justin. There's something happening in the Leicester City end, the away end at the moment. Bit of a disturbance, I think, which the stewards are quickly having to tend to. Leicester, who are trailing here by 3-2, 8 minutes into the second half. Farce. Almost caught in possession by Kulusevski. Racking his ankles as Højbjerg, Bentancur, little drag flick there from Kulusevski to try and play in Harry Kane.
Nice idea, wasn't it? Very nice idea from Kulusevski, just trying to let the ball go through his legs and then hook the ball round into Kane.
Seems to have settled down in the Leicester end. A couple of people have been ejected for tempers fraying amongst themselves with the visiting support. As Sessegnon wins that aerial challenge with Justin, and it goes out of play for a throw. Change going to be made here now, and it's going to be Royal. Emerson coming on, Emerson Royal. And the player who's going to be going off is going to be Perisic. So, the Croatian international coming off. Sessegnon goes back to his natural left-hand side, and Emerson comes on to this right to replace Perisic.
He's had an interesting start to his Tottenham career, Perisic, hasn't he? I think a lot of experience, hasn't quite impacted the games with the quality that we've obviously seen in the past. He's been a fantastic player.
Won Serie A under Antonio Conte, Inter in 2021. Barnes coming forward now, it's a strong run. Højbjerg having to come back to help out because Barnes was getting away from Sanchez, who really did seem to be toiling in that foot chase with the England international. Leicester City, undeterred, have come already from behind once after taking themselves an early lead in a game that has swung one way and then back the other. As Richarlison with the interception loses out then to Tielemans, falling back. He actually manages to get a foot into the challenge and did well, Richarlison. Spurs now can attack. Kane, forward ball, Kulusevski enters the penalty area, onto his left foot, onto his right. Tired effort, really. Picked up by Ward, 3-2 Tottenham.
Ford does well there, does really well. The centre-back gets out, doesn't allow Kulusevski to come back onto his left foot, and I think there was support as well from either Ndidi or Justin that got back in, but just held Kulusevski up there. That's the ideal little area he likes to be, isn't it? Coming in from that side on the corner of the 18-yard box.
Barnes inside to Dewsbury Hall, plays it back. Jamie Vardy's warming up down below. Free kick though in favour of Leicester City. Bentancur with the foul on Maddison. Tottenham Hotspur still lead by 3-2. 11 minutes into the second half. 5 Live Sport tomorrow from midday with Everton West Ham United as part of 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. Kick-off at Goodison 2:15. Not only they've just made one change, they're now going to make another, and it's going to be a double change. Son and Romero are going to be coming on for Tottenham Hotspur. It will mean that they've only got one more opportunity to make another substitution. Tielemans almost seems as if they've actually wasted the 2 minutes there to make one change on 55 minutes and then to make another 2 minutes later when you only get the 3 opportunities either side of the half-time interval. But Son and Romero are going to be coming on. Sanchez, you would think, would be the player coming off for Romero. Ben Davies not playing today, we think, because of a leg injury. How that affects him regarding Wales's forthcoming Nation League qualifiers against Belgium and Poland, we will wait to see. As Evans at the back, Northern Ireland international, hits it forward. Castagnier chests it towards Maddison, hooks it, goal was Xhaka, great save by Lloris. Xhaka with a downward header, and Lloris at full stretch turns the ball away. What a save that was from Hugo Lloris, because Daka just got enough on it. Leicester are coming forward. More goals in this game. 3-2 to Tottenham. Barnes gets the return ball from Daka. Interception. Barnes gets the shot away. Foul. Free kick to Tottenham Hotspur. What a save from Lloris.
Stunning save from Lloris. Really good save, but what about that for a ball from James Maddison? He has been in good form in this game. Looked a real threat. He's shown real quality, creativeness, and he plays this first time ball with his right foot. He just hooks that into the box, almost blind. Knows exactly where Daka is, gets his head on it, heads it down, does so well, and Lloris gets across to his right hand side and just palms it wide. It's a really good save.
Richarlison doesn't seem to be too enamoured about coming off. We were right about Sanchez, but what a lovely ovation for Son to come on. Notice there's even a South Korean flag that is being waved by some supporters as Romero replaces Sanchez. That one was easy to predict. Son, without a goal in 8, shared the golden boot, remember, last season. Yet to score so far this, but he has come on with Spurs leading by 3-2. And just over half an hour remains here. Emerson for Tottenham Hotspur. Back with Højbjerg, central position. Romero.
It's a great position to be able to just freshen up the team and bring Son off the benches. And I know Richarlison wasn't happy, but you're going to need to make those changes with so many games, European, Champions League games, Premier League, all in one bunch.
Here is Tielemans. Maddison forced out wide. Flying header from Daka. Did the keeper get a touch on that? No.
I think it was handball. Don't know. Daka might have handled that.
As he threw himself forward, yeah. He's just been shown a yellow card.
Yeah, he just dived forward. It was, again, we can talk about it again in terms of like the chaos and how open this game is. It's a great opportunity. Maddison's wide, he cuts the ball back in, but it's just too far ahead of Daka. Lloris is committed and throws himself, and the Leicester forward just puts his hand out by his head. A little bit Diego Maradona style there, wasn't it? Kind of just tried to conceal it and touch the ball with his hand, almost like just a reaction from Daka, because he couldn't get his head on it.
Well, he's been shown a yellow card, but Leicester City are showing enough signs here that this game is still within their reach.
Or you could say Spurs are showing signs that they're going to allow Leicester back in the game, you know, because I don't think Leicester are doing too much to really create this, but it's just again gone to that openness. Spurs started so strongly the first 10 minutes of the second half and didn't allow Leicester any breathing space, and just dropped off it a little bit again.
A wise man once said to me, do teams sit back or are they forced back? What do you think?
Well, it depends, and it depends. You can look at it either way, can't you? Just like what you've said there, Leicester are they doing enough? Are Spurs allowing it? And sometimes it's a combination of the two.
Free kick, Emerson, foul on Justin. To Leicester City, this free kick is awarded just in from the left touchline. Leicester City in all royal blue, they're playing from right to left. We're in the 62nd minute of this game. We've had 5 goals, so what's that? 53 goals in the last 11, almost 2/3 of contests in the Premier League between these two sides. I would still think we've got a few more yet to go, judging what we've seen so far. Maddison to take the free kick. Dewsbury Hall is also there. It's just in from the left touchline. Should be an in-swinger. It will be for Maddison. Right-footed, no, he plays it short to Tielemans, who now floats a diagonal ball fast with a header at the far post, and Lloris makes the save inside his 6-yard area, all in yellow, away towards our left-hand side.
Well, Fast got well at the back post, but then didn't have the header on the end of it. He just doesn't get any clean contact on the ball to punch it back across the goal.
Now you can hear the frustration from the Tottenham crowd, because Sessegnon gets towards the halfway line and then he stops running forward, slows right down to a walking pace and passes the ball back. Kulusevski. Sliding challenge was a forceful one, but a fair one by Fast. Kulusevski has stayed down. Fast now plays the ball forward. The referee has stopped play, despite it not being a head injury that Kulusevski clearly winded, and Simon Hooper not prepared to take any chances.
Well, Fast picks him up off his feet. I mean, committed to that tackle there, but he had to win the ball. I mean, he did get a piece of the ball, but really clattered into Kulusevski. It was a good tackle.
Here is Ward. Leicester City will still think they can get something from this game. That was a risky back pass across the toes almost of Harry Kane to Fast. Central defender hits a ball forward, looking towards Daka. Lloris comes out of his goal line, slices the ball. The multi-ball system is in operation. Daka wants it quickly off that short white cone and pleads for it from the ball boy. Lloris though back in his penalty area. Maddison across to Justin. Come on Leicester is the chant from the away support. Justin now towards Barnes. Here is Justin, now with Evans outside the centre circle. Fast waits to his left. Tottenham have everybody back behind the ball. Here is Tielemans. The Spurs supporters try and rouse their team, despite the fact that the home side are leading. Now Son dispossesses Tielemans, hurdles his way forward over on that far side to the left, plays it back to Højbjerg, back towards Son, gets stuck underneath his feet for a little time, tries to thread it forward, loses out to Dewsbury Hall, and it's back with Tielemans.
That first couple of strides from Son is unreal. I mean, he wins the ball, and I'd say it's 3 strides, the power that he generates and how much distance he puts from himself and the opposite. It's an electric turn of pace, isn't it? It's so hard to deal with. It's almost like the ball can't keep up with him.
Leicester City still trailing 3-2. 65 minutes played on BBC Radio 5 Live. 6:06 to follow. Fast. Dewsbury Hall, fair-haired midfielder, gets it back from Justin. Now towards Fast. Leicester City seeing a lot of the ball here. Evans, Tottenham press, little flick there by Daka to Barnes coming in off that left touch line. Romero with a challenge, almost came towards Daka, well read. Alert goalkeeping by Lloris, but the loose ball keeps coming back, and the frustration is growing amongst the Spurs supporters as the cross then from Maddison takes a deflection and Leicester City get a corner kick, and it's Leicester City who are taking the game to Tottenham.
Well, that was a really important tackle from Romero, timed it well. Harvey Barnes just setting one up to pull the trigger, and he does a really good sliding tackle, wins the ball. But you're right, Deno, gets cleared, and all of a sudden Leicester player picking the ball up again on another wave of attack, and it's a very similar pattern, isn't it?
James Maddison goes across to take the corner kick in front of the away supporters, who filled that bottom corner on that far side to our left. Maddison waits. Tielemans had presented himself as a short option, now runs back into the penalty area. It'll be an out-swinging corner from the Leicester right. 3-2 down. Headed away by Longley and out for a Leicester City throw. 66 minutes played here under the clear blue skies in North London, but it's the royal blue shirts of Leicester City, despite this dreadful run that they're on. I mean, they've shipped 14 goals now in 3 and a bit games in the Premier League. However, they have caused Tottenham enough problems.
They don't score that much from set plays either, do they, Leicester? I know we say about to concede a lot, but just both boxes, you know, outside of both 18-yard boxes, you can see a good performance from Leicester. You see some nice play. You know, they've got skillful players who will receive the ball, good passes, good movement, bit of youth and energy, but in terms of both boxes, and as like I say, especially set pieces, just not enough action at either end.
However, it would be, if it stays like this, another defeat, 6 on the spin. And the last time that Leicester failed to win any of their first 7 league games was 83-84. They actually went 10 matches when they finished 15th under Gordon Milne, and it included a 3-0 defeat against Spurs at Filbert Street, where Garth Crooks, Gary Mabbott and Gary Stevens were among the goal scorers. Spurs have scored 3 here today. They lead by 3 goals to 2. But you think about Tottenham, to dare is to do. and the glory about the way that the supporters have been brought up on so many talented footballers down the years, this style of football will not suit the majority of Tottenham supporters.
No, it's not that at the moment, and I think they have got the players to be more like that. But for me, because we've seen a surge in it in this game, start of the second half, for the first 15 minutes we saw a team come out that was completely different.
Ball given away by Longley, wins it back only momentarily. Tielemans. 22 minutes remain on BBC Radio 5 Live. You wouldn't at all be surprised if Leicester were to equalise. Madison with a cross, Barnes goes in with a little header 8 yards out, little flick header, couldn't keep it down, and it will be a goal kick.
But you're looking at a team in Spurs that it has got more steel about it, I will say that. The draw away at Chelsea was a real indicator of that. Chelsea dominated that game, especially in the first half. Tottenham hung in it, they didn't play particularly well, they got back into it in the second half. But the worrying thing for Antonio Conte will be that he almost has to G his players up all the time. Like, he's got to be on them all the time to get that kind of intensity. It doesn't appear to be in them almost like as a habit yet. Whether that will come with time and Spurs will get better and better, we'll have to see.
Evans comes across to stop the run of Kulusevski. They are going to be making a change. Now this will have to be their final change for Tottenham Hotspur. It's only the fourth substitute, but they've used their 3 opportunities. And it is going to be Kulusevski who's coming off, and it's going to be Yves Bissouma who's coming on. Antonio Conte, in the build-up to this game, was saying that he needs to improve defensively. Can't trust him enough to start at the moment to dislodge that midfield 2 of Højbjerg or Bentancur. But he comes on, and now they've got an extra body in the midfield for Tottenham Hotspur, who lead 3-2 with just over 20 minutes remaining.
Well, it's a bit of an indicator of the way he sees the game going, isn't it? To make that switch, bring on Bissouma, very much a central, more of a holder of a midfield player.
And now we're in the 70th minute, and pictures on the giant screens of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and supporters take up the invitation to applaud, and in fact Brendan Rodgers and Antonio Conte down below are also applauding. The 70th minute to mark the Queen's 70-year reign. Incidentally, the programme today, a picture of Danny Blanchflower receiving the FA Cup from the Queen when Spurs won the FA Cup in 1962, and contributions from Alan Mullery, who received his MBE from the Queen in 1976, Steve Perryman likewise in 1986, and Gary Mabbott the MBE in 1994. A wonderful ovation. BBC Radio 5 Live, 18 minutes remain. 3-2 to Tottenham Hotspur. Come on, you Spurs. Looking for their best home start to a season since David Pleat and that fabulous Spurs side in the late 80s, 87-88, when they won 4 on the spin to begin a league campaign. David Pleat, who of course was a former Leicester City manager. And if you're listening, I'm sure Matt Upson would like to say hello to you too, Pleaty. Leicester City on that far side. Madison back with Evans just outside the centre circle to Faes. Justin, almost caught in possession by Bentancur, does get the ball with a second chance, now feeds it to Son. Son running at the heart of the Leicester defence, Son to the edge of the area. What a wonderful goal from Son! What a way is he scoring your first goal of the season! A spectacular right-footed effort that surely secures the 3 points for Tottenham Hotspur and ensures that Leicester's losing run continues. Son with a
That right there is exactly what this player needed right now. To come on off the bench and to score a goal like that is exactly the boost that Son needed and Tottenham to have. What is, in my opinion, probably their top player at the moment, back in form. And it was a brilliant goal. The moment he picked the ball up and was driving at Johnny Evans, you just knew this was classic Son territory of where he's going to cause a problem. It turns over really well. I think it's Bentancur with winning back possession, does really well, releases it to Son, and he's got two players in front of him. Does it take a little deflection? Possibly. It's hard to see. If it is, it's minimal, because he just checks back on the ball, and it's Foyne who's there, and it just whips that ball, real pace with his right foot into the near post, and there is no deflection at all. It's a brilliant finish, loads of dip and swerve on the strike, right into the top of the net. It's a super goal from Son.
And the crowd reaction to Son, of the 6 goals that we've seen here today, but of the Tottenham 4, that got the biggest cheer. That actually left a little shiver down the spine for Son.
Yeah, did you see his celebration? It was a little bit subdued, wasn't it? It was almost like, it looked a little bit emotional, if I'm honest. He was just kind of stood there. Maybe it was the occasion, or the fact that he's been dying for that goal, or whatever it was. He just celebrated as if to say, yeah, you know, I'm back, I needed that.
Here is Barnes. So Leicester City, who've been threatening an equaliser for at times during this second half, have now just made a change, a double change in fact. Iheanacho has come on, and also Jamie Vardy. So Daka is one of the players who's gone off, and Dewsbury Hall was the other one for Leicester City. Good challenge by Basuma. 4-2 to Tottenham. Harry Kane tries to play it forward, and you would think that would be enough for Tottenham now, surely.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Deno, but I have played in a 4-3.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you told our producer Andy Gillis about
as Andy kindly found out earlier, he was very quick on that. Congratulations, Andy, well done for finding that one out.
He's actually just pointed out, and he's right, he's got all the hallmarks of another 5-2 after Leicester lost at Brighton.
Yeah, it has.
Where again they scored earlier on that day, didn't they, at the Amex?
Yeah.
So they will have dropped even more points from winning positions this season.
It's such a mixed bag, isn't it, from Leicester at the moment? Like I say, you're seeing passages in the game where they look really good. Maddison's in good form. You know, he's done some great things in this game. Some of his passing and how his movement's been absolute top class, and they've just got this real susceptible side to them where they're conceding time and time again, and you know, we won't mention it too much, but the set plays is just gone on to another level really in terms of how vulnerable they are at the moment.
But they've got a run of games after the international break: Forest, Bournemouth and Crystal Palace. Although saying that, Bournemouth are a mini revival. Gary O'Neill unbeaten in 3. Spurs try and release Son once again, a little stumble from Fast, and he recovers. But Leicester City will be looking at those 3 games after the international break and thinking, could that be the time? So do the owners keep faith with Brendan Rodgers? The international break, the only one between now and the World Cup. And as for Tottenham Hotspur, extending their unbeaten run in the Premier League to 13 since Brighton actually won here by a 0-0 in April. Certainly Brendan Rodgers said he was very supportive, the backing from the owners in the build-up to this game. You're only in trouble when you're actually in trouble. Here is Maddison, inside, sliding across was Højbjerg. Tielemans went flying up in the air and landed awkwardly on his knees, rather gingerly getting back to his feet. And all of that apprehension from the Tottenham Hotspur supporters now with that 4th goal just seems to have evaporated. 12 minutes remaining. 6:06 on its way with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage. 08085 909 693. Through until 9 o'clock, until Stephen Nolan takes charge. Tomorrow we're at Everton, West Ham United. Wednesday we're in Glasgow, Scotland, Ukraine. Belgium, Wales on Thursday. Italy, England on Friday. So still a lot of live football to look forward to on BBC Radio 5 Live. Ndidi with a shot, drags it wide, right-footed, edge of the area, goal kick, Spurs still lead 4-2.
Still probing. Leicester haven't given up the hunt. A little bit of space for Ndidi on the edge of the box. They manoeuvred it there well. Basuma's getting out to close the ball down, but he just drags that shot wide, Ndidi. No real quality to the strike.
Fingers as well. This is Tottenham's best ever run inside this Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. 7 successive home wins now. Best run since 14 games back at White Hart Lane in 2016-2017. And along with Manchester City, the 2 remaining unbeaten teams in the top flight, both together on 17 points at the top of the table. Harry Kane away left-hand side, crosses, won't fall to Son, might fall to Bentancur. Bentancur to shoot, good save by Ward, on the follow-up, cleared away before Sessegnon could get there. Referee's given the free kick to Leicester City anyway, but they almost had a fifth.
Well, it's great play from Harry Kane, real strength and power to get past Evans, stay on his feet, crosses the ball, slight defection, and then a tackle from Bentancur. Indeed, he's coming out, his ball pops into his path, and if he just hits the corner of the net, it had been his second goal. Bentancur very nearly finished it, but good save from Ward with his left hand. Just an example of Tottenham are now very much, like you said, really confident and comfortable and playing on the front foot.
Maddison has lost the ball. Romero to Harry Kane, skips out of a challenge of Fast, forward towards Son. Son with a cross, and it's pulled wide by Romero. Romero, of all people, 6 yards out, but the flag was raised. Son was in an offside position, and Romero might be the only person pleased to see that flag go up.
He's delighted, let me tell you. He's just looked off and gone, yeah, I knew it was offside. Only joking. I mean, it was a tap in. Son, he just creeps 2 yards offside too early, but that's an impressive miss from Romero. It's the centre-back's finish, isn't it?
Romero would be relieved to see that flag raised. Still 4-2 to Tottenham, 10 minutes remaining. Leicester City, wouldn't say that their heads have dropped at any point.
No.
I mean, there will be positive aspects to this performance for Brendan Rodgers to cling to.
Don't you think it's a tough call, like you say, from an ownership perspective, when you're looking for those telltale signs? You see some teams, and you just watch them, their final game with the manager in charge, you go, you know that it's going to happen, or there's real traits, there's like snippets of it, but there are other real, like you said, up points as well, points that you look at and go, well, that's well, there's certain players in good form, they're knocking the ball, they're creating quite well, they've had a lot of opportunities in this game. So it's not all doom and gloom, but when you look at the table and the points and the goals conceded and the set pieces, that's what paints the bleak picture for Brendan Rodgers.
We'll be hopefully able to hear his thoughts along with Antonio Conte, with the aforementioned Andy Gillies into to 606 reaction from the tunnel down below here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Certainly I thought there was a shift in his tone when he spoke to BBC 5 Live when they lost to Arsenal on the 13th of August, to then when he spoke to us after the recent defeat at Brighton on the 4th of September. Just seemed to be a shift in the way that he was talking about how the club has previously been stable. I've got to trust the owners if there's no resources, to then saying, well, we weren't able to strengthen and there's a hangover from that, we need to improve, we need to develop, we needed players to challenge. So 8 minutes remain, but they're looking at another defeat, 4-2 down here in North London. Tottenham Hotspur with 3 more points, looking for even more goals as it's towards Harry Kane. Harry Kane has got Son, if he can find him. Harry Kane will go it alone, right-footed shot, deflected, and it will go behind for a corner kick in front of that towering south stand away towards our right-hand side, under 8 minutes remaining.
I think Son was the pass as well, wasn't it, from Harry Kane? Usually really gets his head up and sees that pass. I think he just wanted to have a shot. It's 4-2, but Son, I mean, he's ran everywhere, he's come on, the attitude he's shown, I think it's an example. You get dropped, you're a top player, you come on off the bench. I mean, he has really put himself about the pitch and played with real energy.
Anderson, Tucson, edge of the area. That's the voice of Matt Upson on BBC Radio 5 Live. Bentancur, on the day he scored his first goal for the club, coming in off that right touchline, white shirts, navy shorts, playing from left to right, back towards the halfway line to Romero. Tottenham Hotspur now with Harry Kane to Son, just outside the area, onto his left foot. Oh, it's another beauty! Son with a left-footed curler, and Leicester City are losing 5-2 again, but that was special from Son. What a goal that was! Son on a double off the bench. 5-2, home sweet home for Tottenham Hotspur.
We talk about making a point to your manager after leaving you out of the team. Is there a better way? I don't think I've seen one. Coming on off the bench, not just the goals, but the way he's carried himself, Benno. I mean, he's a super professional, which makes him the quality player of what he is. But the talent this lad's got to score a goal, the first one with his right foot, how it was. This one, he just shifts it onto his left, and I'm thinking, is he going to shoot with his left foot here? You know, the confidence he has on that side to get it out of his feet, and he bends it. I mean, it's just inch perfect. Ward does have a chance. It's a little bit of swerve on the ball, bit of dip, similar to the, you know, not struck with the same ferocity as with his right foot strike, but it's a brilliant goal, and his manager's punching the air, smiling, thinking, I've just got the best out of that player in that moment, and Son's really responded to that situation superbly.
Samari's just come on for Ndidi. A successive 5-2 defeats, it may well be, for Leicester City. You can always tell, I think, when you're inside a stadium and it's got the screens, if it's got the U factor, or the R, you know, and that definitely had it then when it was replayed for Son. He could be on a hat-trick here. Bentancur to Son. Son hits it first time, and he falls to his knees as he tried to take it in his stride. It was a rather weak effort, right-footed. And now all of a sudden we're starting to enjoy Tottenham playing that attacking type of football that we're accustomed to down the years.
That's great from Harry Kane, the usual Kane dropping short, and that lovely diagonal kind of flick that he plays round the corner. And you're right, I think Son might have had a touch there. He took it first time, didn't he? Might have just been better just to have a little cushion touch and then strike it.
Ball played forward, headed away by Eric Dyer. Højbjerg running forward. Leicester City very, very open at the back. Højbjerg to Son. Son's on a hat-trick. Son with the hat-trick! Flags up! It'll have to go to VAR. In the minute, he doesn't even know that the flag is up. He's gone away, wheeling, celebrating, but the flag was raised. Now the boos. The substitute denied a hat-trick through VAR. We will have to wait and see. Well, what about the defending?
I was just say, Leicester City have absolutely gone. That is tight.
He could be onside here.
He could be onside. It's very hard to tell. I always try and look at the lines on the grass, but it's never an accurate measure, is it? I don't know. It's very, very tight. But either way, Leicester are just all at sea now. They've gone 5 goals. Could be 6, but it's very, very tight, this offside call.
They are checking. I actually think, well,
shoulder.
I think he's onside. I mean, we haven't got the lines.
Yeah.
The crowd, you can hear what they're doing. They're waiting for the big build-up. Son standing by referee Simon Hooper. It's onside. It is onside. The goal is going to stand. Son's waiting to get the news from Simon Hooper, the referee. Goal stands. Son, the substitute, after a delay, can now celebrate his 4th Tottenham hat-trick. And Leicester City have conceded 6 goals as they slump to a 6th straight defeat. What an impact that Son has made.
Well, he needs to be careful because Antonio Conte might drop him for the next game. That's the only negative I can think of. I mean, yeah, you don't need to say too much. The way he's handled it, the quality, his application, he's come on. Any player that gets dropped, this is an example of how you need to approach getting on the pitch. You don't sulk, you don't mope about it. He's got on, and okay, Leicester a little bit open and spread, but he's maximised it. The energy he's had, he's come on to prove a point, and he's certainly done that.
I reckon that he's grabbed his hat-trick off the bench in the space of 15 minutes. And to think we were talking about at one stage Leicester City grabbing a point from this game. They made a mockery of that,
but that's the game it's been. You know, we said at half-time, I don't actually know what to make of it. It's been a bizarre game, and lots going on, lots of action, lots to talk about, some good play, but very, very open at the same time.
Well, the thing is now, Leicester City, you know, they shipped 4 at Arsenal, 2 at Chelsea, 5 at Brighton, 6 here today. They have the worst defensive record in the Premier League. They've now conceded 22 goals, which is alarming. However, Tottenham Hotspur are buoyant. Spurs 6, Leicester City 2. 60 seconds of normal time remain. That was an awkward fall for Bentancur. His legs just seem to give way. They've made all their substitutions. I always think that sometimes they can be the most awkward of injuries, can't they? Yeah. When there's nobody around a player. Bentancur just seemed to fall rather awkwardly.
Well, even the referees looking, signalling as if to say he needs some attention. He did land awkward. He's back on his feet though.
And he's going to be okay. Just having a little feel of the groin, Bentancur, who scored his first goal for Tottenham earlier on, before it became the Sonny Show, grabbing the match ball. His last hat-trick was March against Aston Villa. He's certainly made up for not scoring before today, hasn't he? For a player, by the way, who has just been prolific. 24 goals last season, 22, 18, 20, 18 and 21 after just 8 in his first season. He has been a terrific signing for Tottenham. Here is Harry Kane. Now it's with Vardy. Leicester City beleaguered. Sumari. Another heavy defeat on the road for Leicester City. 4 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. 6:06 is coming up. 08085 909 693. Son, he wants more goals. He's away on the left-hand side. Kane's going through the middle, tries to find him, and it takes a deflection and into the arms of Danny Ward. Underarm throw out from Danny Ward. Here is Maddison.
Matt, you have to spare a thought for Wout Faes, don't you? In your debut, coming here at the moment in this game, how open Leicester are. I mean, they're trying to chase a goal, but at any moment he's left 1v1 with space in behind with Son, you know, on a hat-trick, who's just full of energy. It's a very difficult game for the new Leicester player.
This is the worst spell for Brendan Rodgers as a manager at any of his clubs, whether it be in the Premier League, the Championship, or indeed in Scotland. 6 successive defeats. When Claudio Ranieri was sacked, that was 5 in a row in the Premier League. Although it wasn't on the back of that, because if you look back at the records, they lost to Millwall in the FA Cup and Sevilla in the Champions League after that 5-match losing sequence, before he lost his job to be replaced by Craig Shakespeare. But we're in stoppage time here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and Tottenham are leading by 6 goals to 2 and will be moving at the top of the table alongside the champions Manchester City. Tomorrow, don't forget, we've got Everton West Ham 5 Live Sport from midday. Spurs now spraying a ball around. Emerson coming forward. Still 90 seconds remains. Spurs fans are certainly enjoying this. The Leicester allocation is probably now only half full. Basuma, the Olays. Leicester can't get a touch. Højbjerg back towards Basuma. Harry Kane. Harry Kane strikes the back of Fars. Out of play it goes for a throw. Kane. A fixture that has a history of goals, has produced another 8. And it could have been more.
I mean, it felt like it, didn't it, early on? Said early on we kind of said, I know there were early goals, but the whole first half, anything could have happened. And I know Spurs have come back out. You feel that they've had a bit more structure about them in this second half. They've applied themselves better. They've not allowed Leicester as much freedom on the ball. You know, there's still been blips in this second half from Spurs, and it just continues this kind of run that they're on, Tottenham, without playing blisteringly well. They're just getting the job done and winning matches. It's not a bad way to be.
Here is Maddison with an effort, saved by Lloris, beats it out, comes out to Iheanacho, tries to cross the ball towards Vardy over his head. I mean, one can't help but think when it was 3-2 to Tottenham, the Lloris save from the Daka header, because otherwise that's 3-3.
Definitely, and again, that could very easily be another goal there. You know, the too much time. It's too easy for Maddison to go past Højbjerg there and get a shot off on goal. It's just too easy. Tottenham, there's been so much of this in this game.
There is the final whistle. Arsenal play tomorrow against Brentford. Tottenham's next game is the North London derby. What a mouth-watering contest that will certainly be shaping up to be. But here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 8 goals, and the substitute Son coming off the bench to grab a 15-minute second-half hat-trick. How do you sum up that game, Matt Upson?
How do you sum up that game? Then that's a good question. I mean, you've seen two teams very open, both really focused on what they're doing with the ball. Defensively, you can pick holes in it. Definitely for both teams, far more for Leicester, but Spurs have got moments in the game where they've got almost like power players like a Son, like a Kane, like a Richarlison that can just get the job done, and you just feel if they can be more consistent with their application and have that level of intensity all the way through from the beginning of the game, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, Tottenham. And for Leicester, well, there's huge problems, massive holes in terms of set piece wise, and you know the confidence is rock bottom.
Leicester took an early lead, retaken penalty from Tielemans, didn't last for long. Kane equalised, Dyer's header put Spurs back in front. Maddison made it 2-2 before half-time. Just after the restart, Bentancur made it 3-2, and then Son off the bench with a 15-minute hat-trick as the final score here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs 6, Leicester City 2. Don't go anywhere. 6:06 is coming up. We'll try and bring you reaction here on 5 Live with Chris Sutton and Robbie Savage.